This is our Carnegie table. If you open the table that has been provided to you by your instructional designer, you will see that there are 3 tabs along the bottom. One says Overall, one says Weekly, and one says Data Input. You want to click on the Data Input tab to open the portion of the calculator that you will be entering information into. This is the Carnegie table as was described in the previous slide. As you can see, there are different types of academic engagement listed over on the left-hand side, along with different types of preparation activities. At the bottom will be a totals column. Across, you will see each week listed at the top, and the totals then again along the right-hand side. And if you look, you can see on the right, those totals are going to be for each activity. Along the bottom, they're going to be for the week that you are entering the information for, and then the very bottom will be the totals for the entire class as a whole. The credit hour equivalent area is what you really want to focus on at the end of the course. This should be the 1 credit hour, 3 credit hour, 4 credit hour that you have been given as a requirement for your course. Now, as we scroll up, let's try entering some information into this table. First of all, Grantham courses typically have 1 discussion per week, and that automatically equates to 1 hour of discussion forum writing per week, so we'll add that in, and 1 hour for responding per week, so we'll add that in. As you can see, it tells you that it's 1 hour per week. We also assume that there would be some sort of midterm or final, just for the sake of this walkthrough. And as you can see, it says midterm or final actual testing. It's 2 hours per test. So we're going to go to week 4 and put in 2 hours for a midterm, and week 8 and put in 2 hours for final. You will also see some preparation activities listed below for a midterm and a final. According to this chart, a midterm or final requires 3 hours per test for studying. So we're going to put 3 hours in week 4 and 3 hours in week 8. That way they're prepared for their final. Now, let's go back up to academic engagement. You'll see across the top it says Reading Instructor Feedback. This is calculated currently as the number of assignments. So you just need to add how many assignments they're going to be reading feedback for from the previous week. For this reason, week 1 won't have any. Week 2 will likely have 2, let's say, for a discussion and an assignment. Week 3, 2 for a discussion and assignment. Week 4, 2 for a discussion and assignment. Week 5 will say they have 3, a discussion, an assignment, and their midterm. Week 6, 2, Week 7, 2, Week 8, 2. And there won't be any way to read the feedback for week 8 itself because that'll be after the course is closed. So that's not calculated here. We're going to imagine that you've done a slideshow, which is PowerPoint slides. Let's say you've done approximately 15 slides per week. We'll add those in just so you can see what's happening. Over in the totals category, you're seeing the number of hours add up. And that's based on a calculation of 100 slides per hour that a student can read. So 15 slides obviously is not going to be a full hour's worth of work, a total for the entire course of only 1.2 hours of reading slides. We're also going to assume you wrote a couple pages of lecture per week, so let's say 2 to 3 pages per week. We'll add those in. And let's see, maybe you had them watch a couple of videos. We'll say you had maybe 8 minutes of video in the first week. In the third week, you had them watch a 15-minute video. Maybe in week 5, it was a 5-minute. Week 7 was a 4-minute. And week 8, you had a decently long video, we'll say 20 minutes. These videos could be something you created, or they could be something that you're linking to within the course, but it is calculated by the number of minutes. Let's go ahead and scan down then to the preparation side. And we're going to first add in textbook reading. So let's estimate 75 pages a week for textbook reading. This is going to vary, obviously, depending on what kind of textbook you have, how many chapters you're assigning, that sort of thing. And I do want to show you a couple of different things here. Case studies are calculated by the number of pages. It takes, according to this, 3 hours per page to write a case study. Research papers are the same, calculated at 3 hours per page. And reflection papers are calculated at 1 hour per page. So when you're looking at, I believe journaling is hours per week. They want you to add 1 hour per week for journaling if you use journaling. Clinical lab hours, how many hours? This is where we just ask you to estimate how many hours it's going to take for them to complete a lab. And then some of these other ones are similar, where you're seeing how many hours per week you think they will spend doing these various items. So we're going to put some calculations in here. We're going to say they started out with a research paper in week 1, but it was short, only 2 pages. Week 2, it got a little longer, maybe 3 pages. Week 3, we wanted them to do a case study, and that took another 3 pages. Week 4, a 3-page paper. Week 5, a 4-page paper. Week 6, they have another case study, we'll say 3 pages. Week 7, 2-page paper. And week 8, instead of a paper, we're going to say that they were preparing for a presentation. And that's going to have taken them how many minutes? Let's say 45 minutes for that. Actually, it looks like that is calculating the amount of minutes of the presentation, not the amount of minutes of preparation, so we're going to change that. It looks like we had them do a 10-minute presentation, so that's a 1 hour of preparation. You can also see down here, if you add other quizzes or exams, those will come across as well. Now, just to give you an idea, this may look like a lot of work when you're putting it in the table, but as you look across the bottom, we're not really hitting our approximate 16 plus hours a week of work, except for a couple of weeks, and you can see that week 4 is actually quite heavy in comparison to the other weeks. This is where you can see balance in your class. Also, you see the academic engagement hours look great. They're very, very close. I'm sorry, they're not great. I saw 45, not 25. We're about 20 minutes short there. And preparation hours were a little short as well. So your total combined hours is currently 114, and for a 3-credit hour class, you've only got about 2.5 credit hours of work here. So this is why it's important to put this information in early and test your class out to see if you need to add or remove information or change your balance between academic preparation or academic engagement. If you have questions about how to fill out this table, please talk to your instructional designer. They can definitely help you with this.